Today is September the 28th, and this is part 36 of our ministry of Jesus. Well, if you remember, we learned from Acts chapter 1 that there was a group of people that followed Jesus around, beginning from the time of John's baptism, on up into Galilee and around. And that's not surprising, but what is surprising is what we're going to look at today, which we don't hear of very much. I'm going to have to read some today. So reading in the book of Luke, chapter 8, verses 1, 2, and 3. And it came to pass afterward that he went throughout every city and village, preaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of God. And the 12 were with him. All right, so Jesus is going all through Galilee, and the 12 and others are with him. And it says, and the 12 and certain women which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities. And here's where some Mary called Magdalene. Now Mary was a pretty common name in those days, so that we've got this Mary Magdalene. We have Mary, the mother, the sister of Martha, brother of Lazarus raised from the dead. And of course we have Mary, the mother of Jesus. So they are identified, it has to be identified which Mary we're talking about. And they call this one Mary Magdalene because she was from the city of Magdala, which was south of Capernaum on the Sea of Galilee. Now then, this is a remarkable woman. Let's continue on it. Here she is, Mary Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils. So sometime, and we don't know when, Jesus had cast out 7 devils, 7 demons out of this woman. And she became a devout follower of Jesus. We find her here with this group going with Jesus. We find her later on at the crucifixion. We find her at the resurrection. We find Jesus speaking to her. So this was a special woman in the life and ministry of Jesus. Let's see, that Mary Magdalene, out of whom were 7 devils, and Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's servant, or steward rather. So this woman was married to a man who was Herod Antipas' steward, and he was in charge of something in Herod's life and his rulership. Don't know what, but a steward was one that had charge over sometime a whole household. And Susanna, and it says, and many others. Now listen to what it says now. And ministered unto him of their substance. They followed Jesus around and ministered. The word minister there is the same word we get the word deacon from. They served, they ministered. Not only did they minister, but they ministered to him with their substance, with whatever was needed, with their money, with whatever, the things they had. They dedicated it to the Lord. They gave it to Jesus. Maybe they did the cooking, I don't know. Whatever was needed, they were there. Now, I also want to show you over at the end of Jesus' ministry, at his crucifixion, these women were there. Now, notice what it says in Matthew 27, verses 55, 56. It says, and many women were there beholding afar off, that is the crucifixion, which followed Jesus from Galilee. Did you get that? They followed Jesus all the way from Galilee down the time he was crucified. Among which was Mary Magdalene, there she is again at the end of Jesus' ministry. Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. Zebedee's children were James and John. You remember the fishermen. They were apostles. Kind of strange, on the way down to Jerusalem when Jesus would be crucified, this woman, the wife of Zebedee, Jesus just told the apostles he's going to go down here and die. And at that time, just after that, she takes her 2 sons and goes to Jesus, James and John, and asks Jesus if they could sit on his right hand and his left hand in his kingdom. Well, that's a strange thing to do then. But Jesus, of course, told her that wasn't his to give. It was something that was earned. Now, the point is today that these women followed Jesus and served and ministered to him with their substance, with however and whatever was needed. Now, they were not apostles. They were not preachers. But they did something very, very, very important. They made it possible for Jesus to carry on the work that he was doing. And so it is today in the churches. Women's place is very, very important. Couldn't carry the work on without them. Well, our time's up for today. We'll pick up and see what Jesus does next in his ministry.